In 2013, a British programmer threw away a hard drive containing 7,500 bitcoins. Today, that's worth over $700 million. He's literally trying to excavate an entire landfill to find that drive. Meanwhile, at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, there are more than 3 million tons of gold in shipwrecks that no one can recover. Lost wealth. Forgotten wealth. Wealth that exists, but that no one can touch. And this is exactly where the most violent fight in the financial world begins. A fight that divides families, ruins friendships, and turns internet comment sections into war zones. Gold versus Bitcoin. Tradition versus revolution. And I'm going to show you why this debate will never end. But first, I need to tell you something that almost no one has noticed. Something that completely changes the way you should look at both of them. Stay until the end. First, let's talk about the most repeated argument of all time. The argument that gold defenders love to use as if it were a nuclear weapon. Gold has existed for 5,000 years. And it's true. Entire civilizations were built, destroyed, and rebuilt on top of gold. The Egyptians used it. The Romans killed for it. The Spanish devastated entire continents to steal it. Gold survived empires, world wars, pandemics, and the collapse of every paper currency that ever existed. 5,000 years of history. And Bitcoin? It's 15 years old. 15 years. So case closed, right? Gold wins by knockout. No, not at all. And here is where things get interesting. Because the age of something doesn't determine its value. It only determines its familiarity. And familiarity is not the same thing as superiority. Horses existed for thousands of years before cars. Letters existed for centuries before email. And nobody today sends a letter when they can send an instant message to the other side of the planet. But wait, the argument from the other side also has a massive problem. A problem that Bitcoin fanatics hate to admit. And that's what I need to talk about now. Bitcoin defenders say it's digital gold. Better than gold in every way. More portable. More divisible. Easier to transfer. Impossible to confiscate if you know what you're doing. All of that is technically true. But there's one detail that destroys all of that perfect logic. Bitcoin depends on electricity. Turn off the internet. Turn off the power. Turn off the servers. And what happens to your digital gold? It disappears. Not physically, of course. The data still exists on the blockchain somewhere. But you can't access it. You can't transfer it. You can't use it. Now pick up a gold bar. Hold it in your hand. The lights can go out, the internet can go down, the government can collapse. That bar is still there. Heavy, shiny, real. That's the argument that makes a lot of smart people hesitate. And rightfully so. But here is where the debate takes yet another turn. Because there's something that neither side wants to see. Something that's hidden right beneath the numbers. Let's talk about scarcity. Because that's the heart of everything. Bitcoin has a maximum limit of 21 million units. Period. There will never be a 21,000,001. That scarcity is mathematical. It's absolute. It's programmed into the code and nobody, no government, no bank, no billionaire, can change that. And gold? Well, this is where it gets weird. We assume gold is scarce. And compared to sand or water, yes, it is. But the truth is that nobody knows exactly how much gold exists on the planet. Estimates say about 200,000 tons have been mined throughout history. But how much is still buried? How much is at the bottom of the sea? How much exists in asteroids near Earth? NASA identified an asteroid called Psyche 16. It contains an estimated amount of gold and precious metals worth $10 quintillion. If someone manages to mine it, and companies are already working on it, gold loses its scarcity overnight. Suddenly, that heavy, shiny bar in your hand isn't worth quite as much anymore. So Bitcoin wins? Hold on. Because it goes deeper than that. Much deeper. Let me tell you something that few people discuss in this debate. Volatility. In November 2021, Bitcoin reached nearly $69,000. A year later, it was at $16,000. Anyone who bought at the top lost more than 75% of their money in 12 months. 75%. Now look at gold over the same period. Did it drop? Yes. About 15–20%. But it didn't destroy portfolios. It didn't ruin retirements. It didn't make anyone lose sleep for months. And that's the point that Bitcoin maximalists always downplay. They say zoom out, look at the long-term chart. And yes, in the long run, Bitcoin has outperformed any asset in history. From zero to tens of thousands of dollars in 15 years. Nothing compares. But the real question isn't about charts. The real question is, can you handle watching your money drop 75% and not sell? Most people can't. And that's why most people lose money with Bitcoin. Not because the asset is bad, but because human beings are emotional. They buy at the top out of greed. They sell at the bottom out of fear. And they repeat the cycle. Gold doesn't do that to people. It's boring, predictable, stable. And for a lot of people, that's not a flaw. It's the greatest quality possible. But now comes the part one said would change the way you see both of them. And it's about what's happening right now in the world. Governments are buying gold like there's no tomorrow. China, Russia, India, central banks around the world are accumulating gold reserves at record levels. In 2023, central banks bought over 1,000 tons, the highest volume in decades. Why? Because they're preparing for something. A shift in the global financial system. A growing distrust in the dollar. A geopolitical reorganization that's already underway. And at the same time, something equally impressive is happening on the other side. Major financial institutions, the biggest on the planet, are getting into Bitcoin. ETFs approved. Billion-dollar investment funds. Wall Street firms that once called Bitcoin a fraud are now quietly buying in. Think about that for a second. Governments are betting on gold. Private institutions are betting on Bitcoin. Both sides are preparing for the same scenario. Instability, currency devaluation, loss of trust in traditional systems. And erase the truth that nobody wants to accept. They're not enemies. Gold and Bitcoin are not opposites. They're different answers to the same problem. The problem of preserving wealth in a world where governments print money without limits, where currencies lose value every year, where the financial system is built on a mountain of debt that will never be paid off. Gold is the analog answer. Physical. Tested by time. Bitcoin is the digital answer. New. Tested by mathematics. And the debate will never end because both answers work. But they work for different profiles, for different fears, for different time horizons. Those who seek stability, protection, and peace of mind gravitate toward gold. Those who seek exponential growth, digital sovereignty, and bet on the future gravitate toward Bitcoin. And the smartest ones, the ones who truly understand the game, they don't pick a side. They hold both. But erase the final point. The point that justifies everything I've said so far. The debate between gold and Bitcoin is not about which asset is better. It never was. It's about which worldview you carry. If you believe the future will look like the past, that physical and tangible systems will always dominate, gold makes perfect sense. If you believe the world is digitizing irreversibly, that technology redefines everything, Bitcoin makes perfect sense. And if you're honest with yourself, you know that neither of those two visions is completely wrong. That's why the debate never ends. Because both answers are partially right. And as long as neither one is completely wrong, the discussion will continue. Forever. The only question that matters now is, where do you stand? Because sitting still, with neither of the two, while the money in your bank loses value every year, that is the only choice that's guaranteed to be wrong. If this video made you think differently about this topic, leave a like. It helps more than you think. And subscribe to the channel, because the next videos are going to go even deeper into these kinds of financial decisions that most people ignore until it's too late.